All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Moon Knight Mission podcast. Today, we're going to continue talking about wrestling.
From my last episode.
Yeah, from the last episode. So if you joined
Straight
us
off the
last
gate.
week,
Favorite brand, SmackDown or Raw. This is going to depend how the podcast continues.
Gotta be SmackDown, bro, because
Okay.
I didn't have cable.
Okay.
I couldn't watch
if
Raw.
you say Raw, I'm leaving.
I couldn't watch Raw.
I'm leaving.
I was a SmackDown guy.
I'm
'cause I
loyal
didn't have
to the
cable.
blue brand.
Yeah.
Always. That's
But
the
then,
same reason.
but wait, time out though. I ain't gonna lie. I pulled the John Cena when I got cable, and I went to Raw.
You moved to Raw and never came back?
Nah, I would go back to SmackDown.
You
There
went
was a
back?
point,
Yeah.
even recently, there was a point where SmackDown was killing it, and Raw was some duty.
Yeah. That was recently, too, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's not that long ago.
Wasn't that long.
I mean, think about it. You had Taker, you had Cena for a point, you had Kurt, you had
Rey
Edge,
Mysterio.
you had Rey Mysterio, you had Eddie,
Batista.
you had Batista, you had who did you have? Who else did you have on there?
What's his name?
A whole bunch of other people. I mean, Kane was on
like,
Raw.
He was like, yeah.
Kane was on Raw.
Yeah.
And then like, what would
And
blow
no, Rey
me?
Mysterio got drafted to Raw. That's when.
That's what would get me.
Yeah.
That's what would get me mad back in the day. I wasn't watching wrestling so much. There was a point in time where like, from like, maybe 03 to like 06, where I didn't watch wrestling. Like I was out of it.
Yeah.
And that's when a lot of stuff, you know, that's when the new generation, a lot of new people started coming out. So by the time I started watching it again, John Cena had already been champion like 4 times. He was fighting Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania and all this other stuff. They were tag team champions and all that stuff. But what I used to hate though is that like on SmackDown, people would start developing. They were there. Like Cena was on SmackDown. He started getting popular, straight to Raw. Edge was on SmackDown. Started getting popular, straight to Raw. You know? Batista on SmackDown. Started getting popular on Raw.
Yeah.
You know, they used to blow me. So, like, all the people that, like, I was starting to see, like, oh, this dude's cool.
Cool. And
Person's
then
getting
boom,
better.
gone.
And then, like, they're
Yeah.
on Raw. I can't see them no more because I didn't have cable.
No cable.
You know, I didn't get cable until I was an adult. And I started working. And
Cable when I was in high school, like beginning of like.
I mean, I was still living with my grandparents at the time. My grandparents raised me, y'all.
That's
You know,
okay.
just in case. But I started working, and I was like, I told my grandfather, can we get cable? I'll pay for it. I said, no, for what? I'm like, I will pay for it. The only way to convince him was that like he would get like all these Christian channels, and he was like, I'm not, I was like, you can get all the Christian channels, and like, and he was like, okay, and I got it, and like that's like when like they had just switched over to like HD. So USA like on the regular USA channel wasn't in HD yet, but I got like Verizon Fios.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
Verizon internet, not internet, cable and all this stuff. And like they had like HD channels, so I would watch USA HD, and that's the first time I saw all the scars on Ric Flair's forehead. I said, "Damn, you hideous."
Yo, like that episode. That's when that is his father-in-law, bro.
Man,
He's gonna
listen,
fight you.
Wrestling was the
He's
jam.
gonna put
back
you in
then.
the.
I mean, it's still good
figure eight.
now.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
back to like I was saying, like favorite eras. You know, obviously Attitude.
You don't even gotta talk. That's my favorite era. The Attitude
then
era. That's
the
like
ruthless,
the
aggressive
ruthless.
era.
I wasn't watching wrestling back then.
I was about to
So,
say. I think that's when you took a
that's-
break.
yeah, that's when I took a break.
Yeah, because we're 10 years difference.
Mm.
Old man. And then the PG. It's time to take the pill.
And the PG era, everything just said snoozer.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I only like the PG era for Sin Cara.
Are we still in the PG era, or is it like the reality era? Or
I think we're in the reality era. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It's so weird.
The eras have changed and they're like
Yeah.
really weird in terms
So
of.
are these
names.
eras named by WWE, or are they named by fans and just adopted by WWE?
I think it's by fans, and
Okay.
then they're like, okay, everybody calls it this, we'll call it that. You know.
So should we do things? Should we talk about eras first, then favorite wrestlers, and then favorite matches? Because I have it like in reverse.
Let's do eras since we're already talking about it.
Let me go first.
Okay.
My favorite
Yeah.
wrestling era was the Attitude Era. You guys heard me talk a little bit about Vince McMahon at the beginning of the last podcast. And one of the things I mentioned was the Austin versus the McMahon rivalry. My dude, one of the best rivalries I have ever watched. Like, I remember, to be fair, okay, let me say this: the Attitude Era is my favorite era, but I didn't really watch it from its inception. I didn't start watching it until like towards the end of it, because that's when I really got into wrestling. So what I would do is I would have my dad buy all these WWE VHS videos. So there was this one where it was like specifically Austin versus McMahon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then there was another one where it was just all of Austin's best matches, and like then I bought SummerSlam '98. Then I remember I was so pressed. I wanted to watch WrestleMania 17. I didn't watch that WrestleMania until months later
Yeah.
when it came out on VHS.
Yeah.
So that sounds like such a long time ago, but it really, when you think about it,
Wasn't
really
that that
wasn't. Well, kind of actually. 17. We're in 439 now, so okay, it was a while back. But like that's the
Yeah.
era of wrestling I grew up in, and that's like my favorite. That's not to say that the other eras aren't any good,
But that's what you grew up on. Like,
but that's
your-
what I grew up on,
it's
and that was
your
like
little soft
DX, The Rock, like even like towards the like
Kane,
the new
Big
I think
Show.
it was called like the New Generation era or something, where like Bret Hart was coming on and he was becoming popular, and Yokozuna was champion, and that's like right before the Attitude Era. Like,
the new generation era. Yeah.
yeah, so I started like getting into that too. But my favorite will forever be the Attitude Era. It was just they had so many classic matches. That's not to say that every single match was good, because when I was a kid and I would get those VHS tapes and I would watch some of those matches, I'm like, this sucks. But when you got to like the main storyline
Yeah.
matches, there's nothing like it, bro. Nothing like it. Like I remember watching that SummerSlam and saw The Rock versus Triple H ladder match for the IC title. Solid match. Great match. Even the X-Pac versus, who was it? That SummerSlam. Was it Jeff Jarrett? Let me see. SummerSlam 98. Anyway, I just remember X-Pac saying, your ass is grass and I'm going to smoke you. And I was like, oh, I'm going bug wild. And then that Austin versus Taker match
Yeah.
in Madison Square Garden. And then they had all, like the skull in the entrance and the glass broke. I mean, it wasn't the first time they did it, but it was the first time I saw it. And the glass shatters, and then just the Undertaker's theme song, and it was a lot of it was like rock influence, like very
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
well, WWE has always been influenced by rock and pop culture, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was more of a like a darker tone to it, right? The Ministry of Darkness, D-Generation X, the Brood, the New Brood, well, Nation of Domination, all these factions and all these groups, like that was my jam as a kid. And I remember I had a Nintendo 64 and I got WWF Attitude,
Oh,
the
really?
game.
Yeah.
I hated playing the game because it was so hard. But man, I remember like listening to all the theme songs on the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
and then doing all the entrances and creating a wrestler. I also had WWF Warzone. That's actually the first wrestling game I ever got.
We might play that game. If we do.
So old, bro.
Yeah, but it's easier to play retro.
Oh, like an
games.
emulator?
Emulator. Hey, don't say that.
Why?
We'll get sued.
I didn't say that.
Can't say that. Censor this whole part out. we didn't
it
say
out.
anything. We're
We
not
didn't
talking
say
about
that.
anything. I illegally own a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, the games I'm talking about are Nintendo 64.
Yeah, we legally own a Nintendo 64.
WWF Warzone.
Like,
When did this game
and speaking of just the WWE games, I think my
1988.
game that that my first WWE game was like WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2007. That was my first game.
You guys didn't see it, but my jaw just dropped that was his first wrestling game.
Yeah.
Wow. You're talking about like
That's when I
damn near
played-
10 games in between
Yeah.
from like WWE
'Cause I never, like,
Warzone
as a-
and freaking SmackDown versus
'cause
Raw.
I was
There
never
like-
evil.
Wait, no, hold on. There was
Yeah.
WWF
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Here comes the pain.
Pain.
Oh my
There's
god.
a lot of I played those games, but my first game that I was allowed to get was the 2007 one.
Oh my god, I'm about to look this up. Hold
Because I
up.
know I originally started with like a GameCube. Like I was very Nintendo based, so I was playing Super Mario.
You're so much younger than I am.
I was playing the
My
Super Mario
gosh.
Brothers. I was playing Pokemans. I was playing those games. I was like,
WWE Authority.
yeah, I remember. I think
What game is that?
Authority. That sounds familiar. Don't know. But
What
yeah,
did this come out on?
I really love the WWE thing.
Oh,
And then I remember, I don't know if you remember this. Did you play the game 2007? Did you ever play
yeah, I
that?
played all of the SmackDown
So
versus
do you remember
Raws.
how in 2007 you could change your wallpapers, your loading screen wallpapers?
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who had the game as well, and I went over his place. My mom came and picked us up, and we got in trouble because all his loading screens
Were
were
the
the
Divas?
divas. I was like,
Listen,
what are you doing? What is that?
if you guys could see my face.
Yeah, that's why I like that game. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean, I really love the game, the story narrative of like that was the biggest thing of my roster. I think that's what it's called now. Like the my career, that's what
I
it's
haven't
called.
played a WWE game in a minute.
So I hated the previous years of I think it's 2020 and 29 no 20 because 2022 just came out and I actually do like this one.
Yeah, because they skipped a year.
They skipped a year, so I think it's 2020 where it's like there is no narrative. Like I get it, but it's like very like there's no promos in between your custom character with the wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like text. It's all like reading basically.
This is the one before this one.
This
that came
one,
out.
yeah, and
So the 2021,
yeah,
right?
no, well, yeah, right. I don't even know at this point because I have all of
It
them.
was 2020, 2021, 2022, and they skipped.
They skipped
Oh
2021,
no!
so it's 2022 then. They skipped some. I
No,
know
it
this.
came out 2021, but it's titled 2K 2020. But
Yeah.
it came out in 2021.
Yeah,
So the last one that came out was in 2019.
yeah.
They skipped 2020, maybe. Whatever.
But
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
so the one before right now, 2K 2022,
Mm-hmm.
that one was trash. I hated it. The graphics were bad.
I heard it was super glitchy, man.
It's
Like,
glitchy.
I didn't buy
you
it.
can you can like it was just jokes at that point. It was just like rubber band. Like your character literally becomes an
But
elastic.
I
and it's
saw a
zoom.
lot of.
The hair was trash. Okay, so the hair isn't good. I get it. It's kind of hard to
Replicate hair.
replicate hair. I get that, and I don't care for it. I'm not like, oh my god, why is the hair moving like that?
I
But
hate
this
it when
one,
it starts going through your shoulder.
yeah,
Like, what?
they fixed it a little bit, but it still happens. But I don't mind it,
Mm-hmm.
especially with this one, because this one, you choose how you play. If you want to be a heel or a face,
Oh, that's cool.
so you can change like for example, I'm in the beginning of the game. You have three options to choose. You either can face Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, or I can't remember whose NXT representative is.
Oh,
But you face one of the brands. Basically, what they tell you is like these are the levels of contenders. The higher one you pick, the more chance you have to join any brand that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So actually went after Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
I won the match, and I was drafted to SmackDown.
But your wrestler had like the lowest scores and stuff because it was at the beginning
Actually,
of the game.
well, yes and no. So in the beginning of the game, they let you choose your character
Mm-hmm.
and your style of playing. So they give you like a small boost, but only in that like type.
Oh, okay.
Like for example, I went for
like how
indie.
like they have the brawler,
Brawler, stuff like that, and I went
flyer and all
indie, which is the high flyer thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with that one, and so my points were mostly on like, aerial attacks and submissions.
Yeah.
So I just focused on that when I fought Drew McIntyre. It took a while, but
I remember when I was creating my wrestlers, I always try to create them like me. So they were
Really?
always short. So I don't even remember there was like one point in the games that like you couldn't if you were short.
you can lift them
You
up.
couldn't
and
lift-
You can't. That's still.
That's still a thing.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So,
Yeah,
like,
'cause
weight
I was
classes
like,
is still
yeah,
a
the
thing.
weight classes. I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
So that's kind of.
Why
like
can't I pick up the Great Khali?
Oh, could
I would get so mad. Yeah. You know what's funny?
He's killed the man.
No, shut up. All my creative wrestlers,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
created the same creative wrestler.
So he loved WWE this year. Came back.
And
It's a
he had the
continued storyline.
same name, the
Same outfit.
Same outfit.
Try to recreate it in every
and
one.
every game, same move,
same
moveset
moveset.
in every single game. And his name was Benjamin Omega.
What was your finisher before I judge you?
It depend
Oh, okay.
on what I was in the mood during the game.
Uh huh.
at one point my finisher was either the stunner, it was
Oh.
either the rock bottom, or the
Okay.
clothesline from
So
hell.
I'm guessing you were like a brawler sort of. Thing,
Kind
or
of, sort
like
of, yeah.
like a
Because I
big-
didn't want to be
bigger
a high
dude.
flyer. Because in real life, I ain't jumping off of nothing.
I would. I
You know.
definitely.
So, but my wrestler's name was Benjamin Omega.
Yeah.
What is my son's name?
Yeah. Yeah.
This says a lot.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but look, let's go back. Wrestling. What is your favorite wrestling era?
For me, it's the ruthless slash. I mean, because that's what I grew up on. The
Yeah, that
early
makes sense.
2000s with a little bit of the PG era, not too much of it.
Like the beginning of the PG
beginning
era.
of it,
era.
because that's when also like I was still into it, and then I stopped, and that's when we had like especially Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is one of my favorite ones. Like, man,
Damn,
rest
I
in
cut
peace.
myself off. Eddie Guerrero was,
Yo, lying, cheating, steal. Words I live by. It's
dude.
like-
Even my dad got sad when I told him Eddie Guerrero passed away.
Yeah, my parents were upset too. Like
Yeah.
like I told my dad once, and he was just like, no. I was just like, yeah, they just did the memorial thing. Like I remember, because I saw the episode.
Bro, I got so,
I was so sad.
teary eyed, bro.
I did
so
too.
sad.
I did too. Because I remember I bought like Rey Mysterio's DVD set, The Biggest Little Man, when that came out. I bought and my parents didn't really want to buy me wrestling stuff because they were always like, "Oh, you're gonna do that?" Like typical.
Yeah, my
parent.
grandfather didn't like wrestling,
So,
but my dad took me.
oh yeah, yeah. My parents did take me like when Raw came, because actually Raw back in the day used to always come around the same week of my birthday.
Spoiled.
I don't know, man. It's just
I don't know.
I don't make the schedule. I don't make the tour schedule.
I remember the first wrestling event I went to. I still have the tickets to it.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's when the Capital One Arena was still called
Yeah.
the MCI Center.
Oh,
That's a long time ago.
I was about to say.
You're talking about
I thought you were gonna say
2000.
the Verizon Center.
Nah, you're
And then
talking about
he's like, no, you went
2000. I went to
before.
SmackDown, bro.
Oh, really? I did go to
was
SmackDown
so
recently.
sized.
To Rey Mysterio's return. I was just like, I'm not losing that. I'm going.
I think the last time I went to SmackDown was for the Evolution reunion with Batista when he came.
Oh yeah.
That's the last time I went to SmackDown. So the Ruthless Aggression / beginning of
So that's
the
beginning because I mean,
PG
like
era.
I said before, like I've said before in other episodes, always been a big fan of like Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara. Especially like my favorite match, just in general, is like Rey Mysterio's Royal Rumble came in at number 1, lasted all the way to number 100.
This is like 2008, right? 2006.
Yes, it was
2000
just right after Eddie passed away.
This was like right before. This is when he won the Rumble and went to WrestleMania.
And won the WrestleMania.
And he was in a triple threat with Orton and Kurt, right?
Angle.
When they were
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
remember
had
that.
the
Mania.
Gucci outfit. Nice.
with the feathers.
With the
and
feather, but his
Mexican
mask had
inspired,
the,
Aztec- yeah, that was.
And they
that
played
was
his theme
dope.
song,
That was dope.
and then
Yeah.
Chavo and Vicky Guerrero with them on the sideline. So that was pretty cool.
That was a pretty good WrestleMania.
That was a good, yeah.
That was a good
Rey Mysterio.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to not like if Rey Mysterio ever headlines a WrestleMania event, I'm dropping everything. I'm going. I don't care. I'm quit the job. I'm
Was it
going.
WrestleMania this year? Yeah, it was with Dominic.
I mean, headline like the main
Oh,
event.
headline?
Like
I don't
mad
think that's
name-
gonna happen, bro.
Don't say that, bro. Never say that,
don't
bro.
think-
Don't say that.
I didn't say never. I'm saying I just don't.
Anytime
think it's gonna
soon.
happen.
I know, yeah. But if he
I don't
ever
think it's gonna happen
does,
at all. Well, I don't know if Edge can do it.
yeah, I mean, he can
You know,
do
but
I can
Edge's
see- I can-
situation was
well,
different though, because he retired for 10 years,
I
came
can
back,
see
and
Dominic versus Rey Mysterio mask versus like a mask
hair
match.
or something stupid.
Yeah, something like that as a main event. I could definitely see that, and that's when Rey Mysterio on a retirement match for Rey Mysterio, where he retires and Dominic continues Rey Mysterio.
Bro, let me tell you something. If Dominic's bum wrestling ass retires Rey Mysterio, I
his
will
dad,
be
bro.
so mad,
dad.
man. Let somebody else do it. Not,
Ooh, I
not
can't think of
Dominic.
anybody,
He's on
like,
duty.
It just makes me angry thinking about
Not
that.
impress me. It does make me angry. I don't know why. Even him with Now in the Judgment Day, I'm like, you look out of place.
He does. He does. I mean, he's cool and all, but yeah, he does look out of place.
Probably a wonderful person. I don't effing know, but I don't know. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, and then I did love when Sin Cara joined. You know, the original Sin Cara, Mystico. Like I thought that was cool as shit. When he came out in the lights.
I wasn't really watching it. I don't think.
I think I think that's when you said you stopped around that age when the PGA era started because he was part of that. And I always thought that was cool when the lights dimmed and then he would walk in, do his iconic point at you.
Oh, I do remember his entrance. I always thought it was wild. There was two different Sin
I
Caras.
I want to talk about that briefly. So, do you know the feud between them?
No.
Like the feud before, middle, and after the whole thing that's happening. So
Tell me.
so there's two Sin Caras in WWE, and the whole thing was so the second Sin Cara, Jorge, was talking to
I don't know any of their real names.
So
What's the
Jorge-
name of the original Sin Cara?
Luis had something
Luis.
something.
His first name is fine.
Well, Mystico, we just call him Mystico 'cause that's what he is.
Oh, okay.
Sin Cara Azul used to wrestle in Mexico as Mystico, right? Like he blew up, but the second Sin Cara was also known as Mystico in Mexico. They're both from Mexico.
Bruh, so they were both known as Sin Cara and Mystico as well?
But his thing
That's
is different
confusing.
though. So he was El Místico de Juárez. That was his full name.
Oh.
Different mask, and he only wrestled in Juárez.
Mm-hmm.
CML owns the trademark Místico. They
Oh, okay.
own that. So
Just Mystico.
just Místico, but the other guy was Místico de Juárez.
Mm-hmm.
The guy blows out. The Místico that becomes the CMML, where Hijo de Santo makes his debut. The rest is history. Becomes a big legend in Mexico. He leaves Mexico, comes to WWE, becomes Sin Cara because Místico and the name and the persona is owned by Mexico, by the Mexican company. So he has to make a new mask, new, whole
He
thing.
wasn't as successful here.
And there's a lot of I don't know who to believe. You know what I mean? Because it's like I've seen
yeah.
both sides of it. Like I've seen his interviews, and I've seen other people talking, like smack talking him. So I'm like,
Was it like an attitude problem? Or?
so for his, it was it was obviously the language barrier. He refused to learn Spanish.
You mean English?
Refused to learn English. He said he didn't need to, and I kind of I halfway agree with him because his whole persona was like faceless and all that stuff. But I was just like, we need to do promos though still. So
Especially in WWE.
yeah, so and then the second one was that WWE wanted to change his style.
They always do that though. That's
so
that's one thing I don't
So
like.
that's
about
why he
WWE.
kept botching.
You need to fit the WWE mold.
Yeah, so they're like he kept botching a lot of things. You see those. He botched his entrance, his first entrance. I don't want to talk about that.
It was a solid entrance though. Like
It's an amazing entrance,
it's pretty
and I
cool.
get it.
His theme song,
And the thing's but his entrance of like running and then jumping over the top rope with the little trampoline, that's amazing. That's actually that's always like ever since that came out on the games, that's always been my entrance.
Nah,
My
that's
custom
that. I loved
character.
it when I could do like combination of different people's entrances.
That takes
And
I
like
like
that-
that, but it takes too long.
Oh,
like,
I loved it. I took my freaking time, dog. I
hated
loved
that, like,
but you
as
know
a
what I
kid-
hated?
what?
When you won a championship belt
And you had to make the
and you
the
had to
winning
pick-
animation.
no, not the winning animation, but you couldn't keep. Yeah, you could keep your entrance, but the belt would look all bulky around
Yeah.
your waist. So my default one was doing like the Rock's entrance with the belt.
No, but yeah. So with Sin Cara, it was he couldn't adapt to the style. He wouldn't, but it was mostly him. Like, I'm not gonna change. Like,
So it was. I mean,
it's
he was his own worst enemy. It sounds like.
and then, but it also seems like he wasn't like. I mean, I would say this about WWE. During that time, it's always been like the same, big guys, strong guys, throwing each other. So I did like when Sin Cara was there, showing his high flying, jumping off the top rope,
He was solid.
all his things. So I was just like, I kind of wanted him to stay that way. I didn't want him to change into like a grappler to say, or a brawler or any
Right.
type of thing. So I see his point from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then from, like, for example, Alberto Del Rio has
I
talked
do
about.
not like him.
Really? I don't either.
I don't like him.
I don't like him as a character. And his
No, I didn't mind
personality-
him as a character. I don't like him as like
in
a
the
human
person.
being. Yeah, all the stuff that he's done and like that I've heard. And
With Paige? Is that what you're talking about?
well, that's one of them. But
Well, you
like,
know that later came out as false. She even apologized about it.
that's messed up. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like I said in the
But he
last
also did have an attitude though.
He did
It's
have
because he
attitude.
got released because he smacked the mess out of somebody backstage.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's very like. if he's walking, I'm gonna walk the other way. Basically, like I have no beef with him, but I don't want to be near him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So he's been like, and I mentioned in the previous episode, the YouTuber Escorpion Dorado.
Mm-hmm.
He does interviews with like a lot of Mexican stars. He did an interview recently. Well, it was I think last year
That's fairly recent.
with Alberto Del Rio and the second Sin Cara.
Okay.
And
At the same time, or
At the same time, they
Okay.
did at the same time because they're friends.
Oh,
that
okay.
that Sin Cara and Alberto Del Rio are friends, but the
second,
first Sin Cara,
the second Sin Cara,
the second Sin
the
Cara,
copy.
yeah, the first one and Alberto don't get along. One of his friends of the original Mystico, he pulled the gun on
Wrestlers should
him.
be tripping, dog.
Pulled the gun on him.
Wow.
They went out.
This is not Nacho Libre. Get out of here.
They went out and then
Which, by the way, is a funny movie.
I love the movie. The movie's
I love
hilarious.
it. It's so hilarious.
But yeah, like it's stuff like that. And he said that
Take it mucho easy.
yeah, basically he was like, oh, he's like, you're not up for this competition because what happened was that one of their matches, Alberto throws Sin Cara and Sin Cara hits his hand, or he dislocates like the first three fingers, and so he's trying to call off the match.
Soft.
So that's the other thing. Like I get it, like. So, and there's some things where at some point you have to just man up. Like I feel like in the wrestling,
Even I know that, and I'm not a freaking wrestler. Like, freaking Becky Lynch, I don't know what the hell she did to her shoulder. She finished the match.
Yeah, she dislocated. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
dislocated your 3 fingers.
But he was, and then he was saying like, "Oh, you're just doing this because you don't want to work. You just want to get the paycheck. If you don't like it, just leave." And then he left.
Oh, so then that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, he went back to Mexico and
Yeah. I mean,
Did
it's
his
cool. I
thing.
wasn't really watching wrestling back then, but I know my cousin liked him because my cousin is half Mexican. His dad was Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, he passed away, but he likes Sin Cara. He
And
will always
then
talk about Sin Cara, and
I
I was like, oh,
hate-
it's cool.
I mean, I really loved like. It was kind of like disappointing, especially like because one of my other favorite matches from the PG era was the Rey Mysterio Sin Cara original and Randy Orton versus the Primetime Players and Alberto Del Rio because they got their shit rocked.
Who the
The
Primetime
Primetime
player?
Players and Alberto Del Rio, and it was such a beautiful match at the finale, especially because it's Alberto is the legal man, so it's Sin Cara tilt-a-war armbar, no tilt-a-war small package, I think that's what it's called. You know, flips him and pushes him into the top ropes. Rey Mysterio 619, and then you know how you get hit by the 619, and so he's like backing up, and then RKO out of nowhere. So it was like a nice thing, and I really love that ending.
Listen. You know what we should include? Favorite finishers.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause
We're going to add that to this list.
That's
Listen.
hard. I can't choose.
Actually, you know what? Let's segue into that.
Okay.
Okay, we already talked about our favorite wrestling eras. Mine is the Attitude Era. Yours is the Ruthless Aggression
low PG.
slash
Little-
beginning of
little-
the
little
PG. Favorite wrestling finisher moves, not signature moves.
Finisher.
Finisher moves.
Like right now, as of this
No,
moment,
just
or
in general. Like
That's
pick
hard.
top five.
Top five?
I'll give you my top 5 right now. Think about
Okay.
yours. I'll give you my top 5.
Give me top 5. And are you doing it in any order? Or is it
Nah,
just
not
any
in a
top
particular
Okay.
order. Stone Cold Stunner.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh.
the Rock Bottom,
Okay.
the Pedigree,
Yeah.
Sweet Chin Music.
Yeah. It's hard.
I can't. Top 6. RKO,
Yes, of course.
Olympic Slam.
Really.
Yeah, I'm not including submissions.
Really.
Submissions are finishers, but I'm not including submissions. Those are my top
Yeah.
because I can do them.
I was about to say it's because
No, but honestly, like those are my top.
Yeah.
Like some of the best finishes to matches,
Yeah.
man. Where you're talking about the Stone Cold Stunner, the way he finished off Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania
Yeah.
14, the way he did The Rock at WrestleMania 15. Man, for all the WrestleManias they fought at, WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17, and WrestleMania 19, I think it was the last one they did. All stunners, man, listen, you cannot go wrong with the Stone Cold Stunner, except if you're Kevin Owens. I hate how he does it. It's not the same.
I thought I was like, I wonder if he's gonna bring Kevin Owens into
It's not
this.
the same. The Stone Cold Steve
Steve
Austin,
Austin.
Stone Cold Stunner. That's the one, man.
You know what's on
Like-
my bucket list actually is to have a drink with Stone Cold Steve Austin, like a beer.
I can see that. I don't drink, but I'd join.
Would you? I know you don't drink, But would you, if you had the opportunity and he tells you,
I'd
tells
probably
you-
like if he told me to take a drink, I'd probably
Yeah.
be like, oh. And when he's not looking, spit it out. But I wouldn't drink it. But Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock bottom, and I did, and it was between the rock bottom and the people's elbow. The people's elbow is more of a spectacle like type
Yeah,
show
but
type thing,
it's-
and it's like when you think about it, it's just you're just dropping an elbow on somebody.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
But it's so
It's
cool.
pretty good.
He's done some like the coolest people's elbow
Yeah.
is the one, in my opinion, that he did on I think it was the British Bulldog on SmackDown.
Mm.
This man was in
Mm-hmm.
his dress shoes and he slid across the ring
Yeah.
and dropped the elbow on the British Bulldog. That is like top 5 people's elbow in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, I didn't pick the people's elbow because it's not one of those finishers that you can hit out of nowhere. The rock
get you,
bottom
mean.
though,
You
you
can hit
can.
anywhere, yeah.
Because the stunner you can hit out of nowhere. The rock bottom you can hit out of
Especially
nowhere.
the RKO.
RKO.
I don't know where.
This fool catches people.
Do you know? What was that
Literally
match? What
out
was
of
that match?
nowhere, like,
What was that
oh my
match?
God.
I just saw the match and I loved it. It's when Randy Orton WrestleMania was it with I think Seth Rollins.
Oh, when he tossed him into the air
And he
and
jumped-
caught them.
yeah.
Yep, one of the best
Yo, one of the
RKOs,
best-
dude. Listen,
You know who I really like, and this is just the off topic. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle as
as a team,
as a team.
I wasn't feeling it at first, but then they kind of grew on me.
they
Yeah.
those RKOs.
They grew on me.
They-
And the reason why it
Yeah.
grew on me is because Orton explained why and how he started liking Matt Riddle,
Yeah.
and that made me laugh so
Yeah.
much because he like.
Because at first I thought it was awkward. I was like,
Yeah,
why
it's
are
kind of
they-
weird. But then when he was like, I saw him doing a promo, and the dude forgets his lines, and then just walks off. And I go back and watch the promo, and I just see him forget the line, and like
just
chuckle and laughs and walks off. I thought it was the funniest thing. I don't know why that made me kind of like them as a team, but I can see
Yeah.
why Orton was like,
Well,
"Oh, you're a funny cat. You had the balls
mean,
to walk off,"
yeah.
and just like the way he did it was just. And I think Oscar was there, or someone was there, and they were like lost and just started laughing, and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But okay, Stunner, Rock Bottom, RKO. Sweet Chin
Pedigree.
Music. Wait, Sweet Chin Music. Put some respect on Sweet Chin Music, bro.
Yeah,
Because I've seen Sean on Bret Hart.
but everybody.
Listen, this fool had on some dress shoes, and he Sweet Chin Music the mess out of Bret Hart out of that
was that
that
promo?
wheelchair. Oh my god.
With
Oh, and his friend when they were the Rockers, and he Sweet Chin
Yeah.
Music them. Oh my goodness.
no, I'm thinking of the promo where it's D-Generation X, and he's like, "You're being too predictable," and he just goes off and switching music's everybody that walks in the all the personnel that's walking
Listen.
by. He's like, "I'm predictable." Kicks
Listen.
the guy.
One of the best Sweet Chin Musics is when he caught Shelton Benjamin
Oh.
coming off the top rope
Yeah,
and just knocked his tooth down his throat. I said, damn.
yeah.
So, Sweet Chin Music, Pedigree,
Pedigree.
the original Pedigree.
I was gonna say, you know Seth Rollins?
Now, not the Seth Rollins Pedigree, the original Pedigree.
Yeah.
Triple H has hit, that is like one of the coolest finishers and like the most devastating finishers that like, in my opinion, just like, I remember me and my cousins, dude, would pedigree each other. Face first into the floor. Like, if you really
Yeah.
don't let go of someone's arms
Yeah.
for them to, like, catch
Yeah.
themselves, your nose is straight first into that crap hurts. So, like,
That's what
I
they
mean,
said. Don't try this at home.
like
Remember,
the-
guys, don't try this at home.
yeah. Like, the Stone Cold Stunner, never going to hurt anybody. The Rock Bottom, you will jack somebody's back up, but you'll probably mess your chest up as well.
Yeah.
RKO,
Depends
you
on where
effing
you
up your
land.
back.
Yeah.
But finishers like the Rock Bottom, Sweet Chin Music, the Pedigree, you're really gonna hurt somebody if you
Yeah.
do those things in real life.
And it's
because
like-
you're literally in Sweet Chin Music, literally kicking somebody in the face.
And especially with those moves, you don't damage yourself as much.
Exactly. That too.
Yeah. It's
So,
mostly like I'm
pedigree-
hitting you.
What was the other one? The Olympic Slam.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point in time where I hated Kurt Angle. And it's when he had hair when he first came, and he was like the Eurocontinental
Yeah,
champion. And
yeah,
he won
yeah,
both the
yeah.
European and Intercontinental titles, and then he won. I was so mad when he won the WWE title. And he beat The Rock at No Mercy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was mad. I legit cried, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I legit had tears, and I was so mad.
Was it tears of rage? Of
Yes,
like
it
just
was
pure
pure rage?
rage.
Pure rage. And I was just like, F this, man. But there was one point when Angle, maybe 2-3 years before he left the company, was just a monster, bro.
Yeah.
It's when he like put back in the mouth
mouth
guard, and he had like the old school wrestling boots, and he was
Yeah.
like world heavyweight champion. He was jacking everybody the F
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I
The
know.
Olympic Slam.
Oh, when he fought
Awesome.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
So,
were
oh
who
man,
was
F5.
F5. Oh, you forgot
F5
about
is
that
so
one.
good. I forgot about the F5. Tombstone is also
I was
pretty
about to
good.
say you didn't bring that one up because that
I
was
didn't
gonna
bring.
be one
It's
of my
not the,
top.
it can be obviously it can be one of yours if you want. I didn't add it because I can't do it.
That's why you're putting
Like, I
things.
can't do it to anybody.
can't
Like,
do
switch
an
to
F5?
music if
Hey,
you're the right
just-
height, I can do it.
I was about to say you
Pedigree, you
just
can do almost anybody unless they're
Anybody.
like humongous.
Yeah.
Damn, Walls of Jericho. Man, there's so many.
And so that's what I'm saying. It's really hard.
There's so many.
I guess for me, for my 5, obviously the 619, that the 619 combo, I guess is what it's called, with the frog splash at the end.
Was it always the frog splash? It wasn't. It was like
was-
a Hurricanrana.
It depends. That's what I'm saying because it depends. Sometimes it was Hurricanrana. Sometimes it was the
Yeah.
frog splash.
Because I
sometimes
think
it was the-
eventually after Eddie passed, I think
Yeah.
he well, it wasn't. They didn't call it the frog,
frog
splash.
splash.
They called it with the tadpole
Yeah.
splash or something
I
stupid
thought
like that.
yeah, and then or was it belly to belly? I don't know, something like that.
I don't know, but it was disrespectful because he's small. So tadpoles, it's like
Hey,
an
man.
infant frog.
biggest little man.
Disrespectful.
The choke
So
slam.
those are some of my
Yeah.
favorite finishers, man. Like when you would see like the stunner just getting hit out of nowhere, bro,
Yeah.
and like all the camera flash.
Yeah.
Like you don't see that stuff on TV anymore, just because of the way how like cameras
Yeah.
are digital now, and you don't
Yeah,
pick up
yeah.
that stuff. But back then, man, when those flashes went off, dude, and you saw Austin hitting the stunner or The Rock getting ready for the people's elbow, and like even like just the simple. I know this isn't necessarily like finishers, but the simple things like how they used to start their matches. When they would run up and just start just going at each other,
Yeah.
punch.
The
like,
bell didn't even
boom,
ring
boom,
yet.
boom, boom. Yeah, and like they kind of do it now, but they kind of look dumb because they kind of like are holding on to each other and they're both like hitting each other at the same
And then
time.
the bell rings, and then they
But
split. and
yeah,
then
but it was kind of
yeah,
cool
yeah.
how like Rock would throw a punch, Austin would throw a
Yeah.
punch, and The Rock would throw a punch. Like me and my brothers, like we talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
And like my brother, you met Angelo.
Yeah.
Like he'll send me stuff sometimes. I know one of his favorites is like the clothesline from hell. Damn it, the clothesline from hell. How can I forget that? JBO's clothesline from hell was something like. to
I
be
didn't like
reckoned with,
JBL.
bro.
I
I liked him in the Acolytes and the APA.
I never.
He kind of got on my nerves when he became WWE champion, but I really wasn't watching wrestling
Yeah.
back then. But then he kind of grew on me. But that clothesline from hell, bro.
Yeah. I mean,
would
he's a
jack
good
some
wrestler.
people
I just
up,
didn't like
bro.
his character. I was like, man, he mean.
Wait, which one? Because he went through like
I mean,
three different
I think
versions.
his cowboy persona when he would show up with the limo.
Oh, so JBL.
Yeah, JBL.
Yeah,
but,
but
like, his
before
other-
it was just Bradshaw.
Yeah, Bradshaw. But like, yeah, Bradshaw was fine. I think JBL was just like, I don't like that. You put a spinner on my WWE belt. That's when John Cena put the little thing.
It's the ugliest. You know what we should talk about too?
I don't want to talk about it because I have like we've talked about this.
No, we should talk. We should also include our favorite titles.
Oh, it's favorite titles.
World title designs, WWE specifically.
Okay, so I guess my 5 finishers. I said before the 619,
Mm-hmm.
RKO, choke slam because that's just the classic.
Oh, yeah, that is a finish. It was Kane's finish.
Oh,
Kane's
yeah.
or Undertaker's?
Both. I like
Okay.
both of them. You know.
Yeah.
Not Randy Orton. Edge's spear, specifically Edge.
The spear.
The
How could I
spear.
forget?
Like I don't
It's
care
so
about
many.
Roman. Like
Roman Reigns'
Edge's
spear is pretty good.
I did like his spear Superman punch combo thing.
I don't like I don't like Goldberg's spear.
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know because he kind of like picks you up almost,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what
like
he-
drags you back.
But I did like Edge's spear because it was out of nowhere sometimes, and also the emotion. He would be like, get up, look kind of like Randy Orton's thing. Sin Cara's finisher, the tilt-a-world armbar, which is the submission move. He puts you in the middle of the ring because that's the same move from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I do like the whole like spinning around with your opponent and then like they're in the submission move.
The frog splash, bro. How can we forget about that? Eddie Guerrero's frog splash.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the 619 combo, like the combination of both.
Nah, but Eddie Guerrero's frog splash.
Yeah.
His frog splash is special.
Yeah.
What
5-star.
Five-star frog splash was pretty good.
What else? I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more. It's hard. I'm trying to think.
It's hard to pick 5.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, you pick a hard one.
Yeah.
I think for final, just to keep with the lucha thing, I did like Kalisto Selena the Soul,
I'm trying to remember what it looks like.
where he's so you're in front, he's in front of you, and he like backflips and pulls you down.
Oh yeah. I mean, that wasn't bad. That was pretty cool.
I always liked it because he was a small. He was kind of like Rey Mysterio. Like, he was a small dude, especially when he fought like Ryback. And
Ryback. Can't stand him.
nah, but like it was so cool seeing him like basically backflip his opponent. I always thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Especially with him. But I guess that's my top 5.
What are your favorite designs? Let's say top 3.
World heavyweight, would we consider that one? Because I did like the way it looked.
Yeah, sure, why not?
The world heavyweight,
The big gold.
big goal. I did. It was always nice. And it was the one Rey Mysterio one. So, and I always liked it because it was always different from the the WWE spinner belt. Like it was nice to separate with how the brands are split. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to have like.
I hated the brand split at first. At first,
I really liked it. I didn't like when they were like together, because it was like.
Because I was so used to it with them being together and being able to see. Because remember, I didn't have cable.
Yeah, I know.
So,
what you mean. No, I especially like for me, it was like Survivor Series, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And it was like back in the day, they try to incorporate it nowadays, like with the brand being split, like them invading like the Raw show or like the SmackDown team.
That is fun though.
I always loved those.
I love that.
And they're all wearing the blue shirts.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I was like, I want a blue shirt.
I think the best one though was when Becky busted her nose and got the concussion. Even though she didn't make it to that Survivor Series.
Yeah.
That build up to that was awesome.
That was when Nia Jax, right?
Nia Jax cleaned her clock.
That's why she don't work no more. She doesn't care about safety.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen interviews with her and like her talking about it. I don't know. Only they know, but
I know.
But I have seen and heard like she really hurt a lot of people.
She really hurt a lot of people, and I do know. I might be wrong on this, that WWE, that she did take back her allegations with WWE because it was proven that she was wrong or something. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even know it was like a big thing.
It was a big thing because she kept like, I know it was a big thing because she kept like bad mouthing, like she started doing like bad.
Oh.
So WWE had to step in there, like, okay.
Like a cease and desist type thing?
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Like, that's not true. Like, here are the things. You did this, you did that. And then
okay.
Other people. But, like, enough of that. World Heavyweight. I do like the current belt that we have right now for that.
I do like it. It grew on me.
I just don't like that they're the same title. That this is the
for
same.
Both?
For
the
both.
same design?
That's the only
it's
thing.
The exact same design. I get that.
It's just blue.
It's just blue. It says Universal.
Oh my god!
Champion at the bottom.
I'm done with the show. Quit.
No, it's. I like it. That's blue though over the red.
I do too.
I like the blue over the red.
Even if they wanted just keep it like the black that they have. I'm fine with it. I just don't like that both titles
are the same design. They're literally the same design now because at least when it was red, it's the same design, but the swoosh underneath was black.
Yeah.
But because it's blue now, the swoosh is back to red.
Yep.
Okay. So World Heavyweight, the network logo.
The network logo, yeah.
Belt enthusiasts call it.
Belt. That's kind of hard to think of another one. You know what? Just for the funnies. The spinner, the WWE spinner.
Ugh, throw vomit.
The spinner, because I did like when John Cena debuted it, and also it looked really flashy. Like
it is a very flashy.
Like I was just like,
belt.
yo, they got mad money. Like,
no, like design wise, like design specifically, it was a decent looking belt.
I think,
but for it to be the belt the main belt for as long as it was,
yeah,
nah, bro, nah. Especially the belt it replaced.
That's true.
The Undisputed Championship.
That's true.
That belt was a beautiful belt. Like, just so you guys know, I'm into wrestling belts. Like, yes, I have a tiny collection. I only have 3.
Oh.
Because they're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
And I refuse to spend much more on them. But, okay, so those are your 3.
Yeah.
You want to do one more or just keep it at 3?
No, I'll keep it at 3. You can do.
All right. I'll probably do top 5.
Yeah, I was about to say, you have more.
I'll probably do top 5. So, number 1.
Yeah.
Arguably, probably one of the best looking WWE titles is the Winged Eagle. The one from the 90s.
I know what you're talking about.
Like the one Bret had, the one Hogan had, the one, it had that long run, right? So, the Winged Eagle is my favorite. The Big Gold, the World Heavyweight title, is number 2. And this is in order, as opposed to the other stuff that was on. This is in order.
This is really?
This is in order.
Yeah.
But it's the specific Big Gold because there have been different iterations. Even there have been different iterations of each belt. So there have been different like minor tweaks of like the
Yeah.
World Heavyweight, minor tweaks of the Big Eagle, minor tweaks to like the Winged Eagle. But like my favorite Big Gold is probably the 3D Big Gold. And then number 3 is the Undisputed. The one Brock Lesnar held
Yeah.
that he took off The Rock, but not the big ass one, not the version 2, the version 3, which was like it was like in the middle
Yeah,
of the
it's
version
the
1 and the
middle
version 2 because the version 1 was kind of small. So then when Brock won it, it was too small for him. So that if I'm not mistaken, they had to make a bigger.
Yeah.
I like the one Eddie had.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one was small. I think that's the version 3. So that's my third one, and then the network logo, the one they have now. That's number 4, and then number 5 is the Big Eagle, the one that Austin used, the one that The Rock had, the Triple H first one,
And the Attitude Era one.
the Attitude Era one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Those are my top 5 world titles. But like specific
Titles.
Now, do we want to talk about secondary titles, like mid card titles, like IC?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Intercontinental title. I don't like the new one that they have right now.
I liked it at first, but now I don't
did
like
from
it
a
too much.
distance.
Yeah, now
And then
it's,
like I saw the actual so when Sami Zayn presented it to Shinsuke, I was like, oh dang, that's a nice belt.
yeah, because it's new,
It's
shiny,
new,
and
it's
it's like,
shiny, and then I see it up close, and then the design in me is like, why is this an oval? Why does this look like an Easter egg?
but the old IC belt was oval, just in the opposite orientation.
Yeah, but like with that,
But
looks
it
like
worked,
an egg.
though.
But it looks like an egg now. So I'm like, I don't like that. And
don't
then
like it.
I don't even, to be honest, like in its matches, in its live taping, it just looks dirty. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't look
don't-
shiny. Like I did like the IC belt when it was with the white,
Oh, like the classic,
classic-
one when
yeah.
Cody brought back.
yeah, I did like that one. I think that's my favorite iteration of it. I think that one is, because I mean the other ones were okay, but I really like the white really stood out to me because none of the other belts were white. They were all like black leather or like
That's
brown.
true.
So I was just like, that's a really nice belt.
That's why I kind of want Cody to win the title because I want him. He's already said I want to bring back the big gold, like the
Yeah,
winged eagle.
yeah.
And like, bro, if he brings back the winged eagle, I have to buy it. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be mine.
Are you gonna if he does bring it back? Are you gonna get his name plate on it? Or are you gonna?
No, it's gonna be my name, bro. Get
Oh,
out of here.
damn,
You already know I
Ross.
got my own custom side plates
Yeah,
on my
he
name.
does.
Get out of here.
Loser.
How dare you?
He
You're
sent me
a
photo and
hater,
he's
is that
just
what
like, "Bro, I got- not to flex or anything, but I got this.
I didn't say not to flex.
But I can
Okay,
feel
okay.
it, but, and
Listen. Okay,
Okay.
right, no, go.
I was gonna say, and then I'm indecisive with the United States because I like the old one
I
and
don't
the
really
new
like
one.
any of them, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, that's probably one of my least favorite looking belts.
I didn't mind it. I was
Any
just
of
like,
them.
I like it.
The new one is cool, but
It looks like it. I
it's
don't
just
know.
there's something design wise about it that like I don't like.
Yeah,
Like the technology that they used to make it.
of
like,
course. I mean, that's always amazing.
Like that's cool because there's way more detail. There's
Yeah.
way more depth to it. There's way more.
The embossing. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
when they push it out. Yeah.
it's better.
Yeah,
But the design of it is what I don't like.
it looks tight, like little, like
Oh,
compressed.
yeah, it's something about it I don't like.
And then I hate the tag titles. I hate the current tag titles.
Yeah,
And I
think
hated the bronze looking one because it just, I don't know, it made me feel like they don't care. Like, I really like the tag division. I've always been a
the
big
tag
fan.
division was really good. It's getting better now though
It
with the
is.
Usos. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the Usos got it. But,
they're
like,
killing
especially,
it.
like, with
And
the
the New Day.
Usos, the New Day, and the Lucha Dragons, with their whole, especially their rivalry at TLC.
The Lucha Dragons.
The shirt I'm wearing.
I was gonna.
wearing a
I
Lucha
had mixed them up
Dragons.
with the Lucha Party.
Lucha House Party.
Yeah, they sucked.
I don't know. I'm going to need you to take that back because they were good.
Lucha.
They did the same. They both did the same thing.
U.S. title. There's some booty.
Tag titles, the tag division.
Oh.
Tag division is really good. TLC, that triple threat between Lucha Dragons, New Day, and the Usos was one of the best matches in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I hate how they just said, you know what,
Do you
guys?
hate the design or do you hate the color
I hate
way,
both.
like the scheme?
Both.
I don't mind the design.
Like I don't. It was to me like when they first like showcased them, it was kind of weird though.
They called
Like,
them like the pennies or something because they were bronze.
yeah, that was one, and then the second one was it was like two gladiators on it, and it felt out of place to me. Like nothing else.
I mean, I get it.
Like it was just random. Like
Yeah.
oh, here's a belt design.
I don't mind the tag team title belts.
And then I didn't, and then the other thing was like, what was it back in the day? It was the world tag titles.
Oh, when
and
they had the brand
two
split,
different-
I
the
hated it.
I liked it because, like I said before, I did like how each brand had its own like belt
Design and color scheme and all.
IC, United States, World Heavyweight, WWE Champion. I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like when when the brand split and all they did was just like
Like the women's title and the WWE title in the world.
I was just like y'all really couldn't
Universal.
make a new title for the women's. I will say this though, I really like the women's tag title though.
I'm a
gold
big
and then
fan
the
of the
little,
like
like,
the
reef
dual
lid.
plated, like the gold
Yeah.
and the silver.
Mm-hmm.
So just to backtrack a little bit, IC title, my favorite is the Attitude Era one.
Yeah, I
That's my
like
favorite.
that one. That one's a good one.
I do like the one Cody Rhodes brought back
Yeah.
with the white, but his was different.
Yeah.
His was, instead of it being the background smooth gold, it was textured.
That's what it is,
So
yeah.
the light reflected off of it
It looks really
differently,
shiny.
right? So it
Yeah.
made it look shinier than what it really
Expensive.
was.
Yeah.
But then I think it was like some legal copyright issues. They couldn't use that, so they went back to the one that they had previously with the smooth surface. I don't like that one, but the one Cody Rhodes brought back.
Yeah.
You know my thoughts on the U.S. title. I don't really
Yeah.
care for it. The tag team titles, I like the Attitude Era tag team titles. Those are my favorite. I do like this current design for the tag titles with the silver. I do not like it on the red and blue strap, but it does look really good on a black strap. I've seen people
I know what you're talking about.
re-leather their belts, and so the black and the silver goes really well. So I do like that. I've seen that a couple of places. The women's tag team titles I do like, but I feel like it's missing something. It almost looks like a Beyblade.
And maybe that's why I really like it.
Maybe.
But I mean, like I said, I really like the women's tag more than like currently right now than the two tag titles. Like, cause I mean, like I said before, they're the same. It's just
I
The
think
leather's
I
the
think they're
difference.
due for an update. But I saw rumors that Triple H wants to make changes to a lot of titles.
that's what I've heard too, and I'm really hoping maybe with this whole like NXT merge.
You know what belt was ugly? The first NXT belt.
Really, you didn't like it?
That
I
big
was
ass
okay with it.
X and the
Yeah.
extra wide strap.
Yeah.
Thing was hideous. So I'm glad they made the
I
update to
was,
it, and the update to it is
Well,
not-
I could take it or leave it.
not this one though, because they added like all the multicolor stuff to it. They
Yeah,
made
I
it-
didn't like that.
I do
mean-
do like the updated NXT logo though.
I
It's like slight little changes like to the bottom of the end and all this other stuff. But I have seen people add. So in the NXT title on the X, there's like a cross X pattern going across the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've seen people modify the replicas, and in between each of those X, it's a diamond shape, right? Because when you have multiple X's,
yeah.
they're diamond shapes.
Yeah.
I've seen people add gemstones into all of those X's, all across the face of the big X. That looks
I get
That
what you
looks
mean.
pretty.
That sounds
that
nice.
looks really nice.
Almost like an infinity gauntlet.
Yeah, but it's like across the whole thing.
That's
So
what I'm
all
saying.
you see, it looks like
It's
the
different
$1 million.
stones. The
Champ-
$1 million championship.
It looks like the $1 million championship, but just like the X is like
Yeah.
all like
All
iced out.
played.
I
I did like the $1 million championship.
It
Like,
was. I've always wanted one, and I've always wanted to get the plastic stones from the replica
yeah.
replaced with cubic zirconium, because that's what I did with my network logo. It's not that expensive. I mean,
I don't know, because I'm thinking the $1 million will take more compared to the WWE. No, because it has like.
yeah, it'll probably be like $100 and maybe $150 more to do it.
That's true.
I mean, that's expensive for freaking wrestling belt. Like, I understand that.
I don't know about that one.
But my network logo belt, when I ordered it, obviously it's plastic diamonds, plastic stones,
Yeah.
flat as a pancake. There's no curve to it. and then the strap is mega stiff. And I was like, this is not right. I paid $300 for this.
I've been wrong.
This is not right.
Yeah.
So I invested like another $400. I bought a leather strap.
Yeah.
So it's on a real leather strap.
Yeah.
I sent it out to this dude called Richard Restoning. Look him up on Facebook. My dude also hooked me up with my custom made side plates. I designed them. I sent them to him. He got them made. But he does restoning for like any belt.
Yeah.
And he added a curve to the network logo belt for me. And he restoned it. And listen, when I tell you cubic zirconium, obviously not real diamonds, but it looks 1,000 times better than the plastic
I've seen
ones.
the photos.
So when you see like light reflect off of
Yeah.
it, and like in my display case, I have them in display cases. Yes, I have lights in my display cases, so the lights like reflect off it really nice. I also had him restone my undisputed belt. It only has like maybe 6 stones on it. It only has a couple, so he restoned that for me. But then that's a big belt. It's a really big belt. But I'm waiting for WWE to do a new version of their big gold of the world heavyweight, because the one they have now, the detail's really shallow. It's not as deep as like their new replicas.
Looks
and it's
plastic on
really
the
black.
photos.
Yeah, it looks super
Like
plasticky.
I've seen the photos, and I was just like, because I was like, if I want to get a belt, it's gonna be the big gold.
Yeah, but don't get that one.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
look at
I
that
saw the photos, and I was just like,
You know, there are
like
some
a
there are
toy.
some people. There's this company called what is their name? Classic Shields. Right?
shield.
Classic Shields, and they make replica, unofficial, unlicensed, but they're expensive. We're talking about like $1,000 and up, and they make really good replicas. Like the big eagle that I got, I kind of cheaped out, and I got it from this random dude. They're called bootleggers. I was so disappointed. Because look, so WWE, they released an updated version of the winged eagle, but it has the WW logo.
Yeah.
I want the WWF block logo on it.
Yeah.
So I was indecisive. I was in between the two, you know. And then like in the original run of the WWE one, there was an error on one of the plates, the main plate. They misspelled heavyweight. So instead of having that T, it was another I. And then the WWE logo wasn't centered, so it's off center.
Yeah.
So it looks like what they did was that the designers took off the F part and left the W to the side and didn't center it with the rest of the plate. So it was like that on all this stuff. A lot of people complained about it. So what WWE did was like either you canceled your order, or they would send you the one that was already on its way, and then I think they sent out new ones to people. I didn't want to go through all of that, so I went through this other dude, the bootlegger. It was just as bad, probably worse. The leather it came on was some trash. The plating on it was horrible because I wanted the dual plated version of the winged eagle, with the raised world banner on it. Such a loser. But that was like when I was a kid and I would watch wrestling. That was like my dream belt. Like I even want to like do a photo shoot with that belt when I get into shape. Like if I ever get into shape. Like that's my belt, dude. That's like I don't care. I don't care for that. I want to do that with that one and the.
We're gonna go to the WWE Performance Center and get in shape.
No, but no lie though, the network logo is a pretty looking belt.
I just don't like that it's both. That's the only.
Yeah, I get you. I feel like the other one should be a different design.
Yeah.
But when you see Roman Reigns with both of them, symmetry, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care for Roman. I really don't care. I mean, he's a good dude. I like him outside the ring. I don't care for I'm tired of him. I'm tired of seeing him everywhere. I'm tired. Get him out.
I don't mind him. I'm gonna put it that way.
He does work. He
does good work.
Like it's not.
I don't mind. I don't mind him even less now because he's not on every show.
I think that's what
so they're not shoving him down my throat
because I'm still on that. Like I still personally feel like he's still being shoved down my throat, and I was like, I
feel that the champion should be on both shows because when the brand split first happened, the Undisputed Champion was on both shows. He traveled to both Raw and SmackDown, and then they did the storyline where Stephanie McMahon cut a deal with Brock, and he was solely on SmackDown. So then Raw didn't have a champion. So then that's when Eric Bischoff awarded Triple H the World Heavyweight Championship. So like,
there's a lot of things to it, but
there's a lot.
But it's, I mean, I do like the brand split. I've always been a big fan of that. I just don't like the same belt.
I get that.
Like,
I do want them to change it up.
Like, I won't like when it first came out as like the WWE Universal title with Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
That match was amazing, by the way. He dislocated his shoulder, wrestled amazing. Finn Balor did.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of upsetting that he had to relinquish it because of injuries.
The night he won it.
He won it. I was kind of disappointed because that's when we saw I think that was the last. Well, during that time, it was the last appearance of the. I haven't said this before, but I really like Finn Balor, and I don't like where he's. Like, I don't like this new like Apocalypse or whatever they're called.
Judgment Day.
Whatever they're called, I don't like that. Like when Finn Balor was part of the Balor Club with the leather jacket. He still has it. But
I don't. He needs to.
It's coup de grace.
He needs to.
I love that move. That's
work
another...
on his legs because they're skinny.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if it's the injury, because he was out for a
Well,
while.
no, because before he used to his.
The coup de grace.
Oh, I get it.
Because remember he jumped on top of me and just stomp.
I'm trying to find how long. Like,
I've always that's actually one of my aerial moves in my my
for real?
custom character.
It's just a stomp off the top rope.
It's just cool because it just looks like it hurts a lot. Like,
I mean, probably would in real life. You got somebody jumping off, just like, landing on your stomach from
really
like
his,
10 feet in the air.
his demon persona.
Yeah, he needs to bring that back.
Yeah, and I really did like the feud between the demon versus the fiend. Like, I thought that was a new like.
Yo, that's crazy. Hold on, random fact: the current design to the WWE title has been around since 2014.
Yeah,
it is definitely due for a change because the spinner belt was. When was the spinner belt? The spinner belt was around almost just as long.
Because The Rock introduced it.
No, he introduced the old scratch logo.
Yeah, I mean, but he's the one who
with the similar. Yeah,
he changed.
But that lasted like a year, maybe.
Yeah, but wasn't that because of like logoing? Because they changed it, right?
I know. I think it's because they did the whole merger of the championships again.
Yeah.
When Randy had the title and Cena had the title,
right?
When he was with the Authority, yeah, and then he won it, and then who won it? And then Daniel Bryan won it.
Oh, and he
at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if he relinquished it or if he lost it. The point is Brock got it. And then when Brock got it, I don't think he wanted to carry it around too. And they had just did the WWE Network and with the WWE Network logo. So then they changed it. And then they did that. So let me see. The spinner.
You know what? Another belt that
2014.
That I really like and just on the
2013.
2013.
That's on 2005 to 2013. The spinner belt was around. How many years is that? 8 years. 8. Yeah. So this current belt design has been around just as long as the spinner, and I felt like the spinner was around for like forever.
Yeah. So it's about time
It's about time they changed the design.
You know what belt I just like on the side is the cruiserweight, the new cruiserweight, the purple one.
I like that belt.
I like that one.
But that one looks so much better on the black strap.
You mean the NXT one, like the one NXT did?
Nah, it was still purple. It was just darker.
Really? I thought it was black.
No, it was just a darker purple.
But I did like
it. Looked better on the darker purple. It's like a plum. Like a really
that's what it was, like a plum. I didn't like that because that was just like, ew.
No, I liked it. I didn't like that bright purple.
I like the bright purple.
I don't like belts with
bright colorings.
Bright color straps.
And I also do like the old cruiserweight. Because it sort of looked like a crown.
Oh,
like the gold.
Yeah, the WCW one or the WWE
Both.
one?
I mean, the WWE one.
Yeah, the WCW belts were ugly.
Yeah, the WWE one, the one that I think Rey Mysterio first won from Chavo Guerrero.
Oh, okay.
That one was really nice. I think that was a nice one.
All right, so let's do the last thing. The last point. Favorite match. Chiss. If you can't pick one favorite matches.
Favorite match.
Top 3.
Are we doing matches in general, or are we doing matches including pay-per-views? Like, are we doing because I mean,
just favorite match. It doesn't have to be favorite pay-per-view match.
Okay, so I think I'll do 2. I'll do one now, one before. It was like I said before the triple threat, the TLC match
The one you mentioned earlier.
Lucha Dragons, Usos, and New Day. That was an amazing match in my opinion. And then we saw Kalisto, Selena the Soul from the top ladder.
I know what match
Uso,
you're talking
and
about now.
they broke
As
it.
soon as you said that, yeah, I remember.
I was just like, yo! And then they almost won the title, and Xavier Wood got in, and I was so heated about that. I was just like,
New Day as heels were like the best.
I hated them. I
hated
mean, no,
them
they
too,
were good.
but they were good.
But that's what I'm saying. They were good as heels, but I hate.
Well, that's the whole point of a heel
I know.
to hate them.
They did a good job as what they were doing, and I think this a second match was when who did they fight? I can't remember. When Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero won the tag titles. I can't remember who they fought against.
I wasn't watching wrestling then.
But that was the reason I say it's my. I can't. It's gonna come back to me like later. But the reason I really loved it was because that's when Eddie Guerrero did the you know his cheating gimmick. He took the title
Right,
and he hit the guy, and then the other guy sees him,
I love that.
and then they're like they're
so
taking it. But what I really like is like that was the first time Rey Mysterio took the other title and hit the other guy with it. And so they were both. It was really nice to see. And I can't remember. It's gonna come back to me. Watch. I'm just looking up real quick. But like I think I don't because I have a lot of matches. Like I did like the Sin Cara versus Sin Cara, the Mask versus Mask.
You like a lot of matches like with like
I do,
luchadors.
Yeah, I do like. I like me personally. I've always been a big fan of like aerial submission or aerial like techniques. Like the same thing with Finn Balor. Like I really loved his demon persona because he like the coup de grace, his whole submissions, and the same thing goes with Asuka. I really like her easy rapid kicks, the Asuka kicks.
You know what's a good submission?
Asuka lock.
Nah, the Anaconda Vice.
That is true.
That's a solid submission, bro.
Yeah.
That was my submission in my creator wrestler every
Really?
year.
Mine was the Hell's Gate Undertaker's. Because
Anaconda Vice hurts though, bro. Let somebody put you in the Anaconda Vice. You break your neck.
I know.
That the ankle lock, the walls of Jericho, the Boston Crab, all of
Yo,
those things hurt.
the ankle-
Figure four hurts. Like if you do the figure
Yeah.
four, like it hurts.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another. You go while I try to
Favorite
find-
wrestling matches, man. That's I asked the question and I can't even answer it my damn self. It's just so many. I can't pick like top one, top two,
Yeah,
top three.
that's kind of hard.
It's really hard, but I can say some of my favorite off the top of my head. Austin versus Rock, WrestleMania 15. That's more for like sentimental value.
Yeah.
Is why it's one of my favorites. Because for the longest time, The Rock was like the wrestler, like my favorite wrestler. Shawn versus Taker, WrestleMania, their first match.
Yeah.
That match was really good. Man, there's so many. A lot of them are older matches though. I'm trying to find matches with like Triple H in it because it's usually always The Rock, Austin,
Yeah.
Triple H or
I
something.
think it was Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero versus MNN.
I forgot they were
Yeah.
a team.
Yeah.
Yo, do you remember that time Joey Mercury's face got like exploded by the ladder? God. I'll never forget that. Melina's entrance. And he's like, man. Anyway, I can't think of any other. There are, because there have been so many good matches throughout
the
the years.
hard is like
But that-
choosing like
Yeah.
a fraction or like just a part of it because there's so many matches that you can say like, oh, it wasn't a main event, but like the outcome was great.
Yeah.
Like I know for me, I'm just gonna say it in general. Like all Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara's tag, like the whole like that whole I guess arc of like them competing for the tag titles. I was actually really disappointed that they didn't win them. Kind of felt discriminated a little bit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I don't know why I found that funny.
Because you don't want to see them grow anyway. But like their whole tag I really love their like tag dynamic as a team. With Sin Cara setting up for the 619 and Rey Mysterio doing his thing, and then like Sin Cara suicide diving.
Yeah, you like a lot of tag team stuff.
I
too,
do
just realized.
because I think that was like
I'm more of a singles match type dude.
I've always been into. Well, I mean, I think that's what the other thing is like in Mexico, all the matches are basically tag matches. It's a 3v3. It's 3v3, 2 out of 3.
I don't like that.
So
there's too much going on at the same time.
So,
I like a really good story between one person versus the other.
Yeah. But I've always been like,
like-
like I said, Mexico. It does have its one-on-ones, and
Mm-hmm.
it's usually like the main event. But there's also like, there's a lot of factions in Mexico wrestling, like Los Guerreros
Really? I didn't know
Laguneros, like right. One of the biggest factions that's just worldwide that starts from Mexico, the Andrade is part of, is
Mm-hmm.
Los Ingobernables, and then they just put whatever country they're from. Los Ingobernables, and then Mexico.
That's funny.
Ingobernables, Japón.
So they're like
They're like
the Bullet Club,
yeah.
like the Mexican version of the Bullet Club.
I mean, I think they came out first, so.
Who?
The Los Ingobernables.
Probably.
Yeah. But they have like their whole thing in New Japan Pro Wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and now we see them in AEW because now what's his name just got there? Rush. His name is Rush. The white, well, in Spanish is El Toro Blanco.
Mm-hmm.
Rush, and his two brothers are there now. It's Rush, Dragon Lee, and Dralistico.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact: Dralistico is a merge of Mystico and Dragon Lee, and the mask is the same thing because he used to play both characters, but he did so bad as both characters, and he gave them away.
so
he's-
then he just combined
He
both
just
of them.
combined because he started as Dragon Lee, and Mexico's like, you can be the new Mystico during the time where he was Sin Cara. Everybody hated him. Like people, like they knew that he wasn't it because he's a much skinnier dude. So it was like if you like, I have video footage of it. When you see him wrestle, you just hear the crowd booing
booing.
him or like just going Mystico Pirata. Like in his face, bro, and I'm like, y'all mad disrespectful.
That's
but
so
I agree.
disrespectful, bro.
I'm with you. I'm gonna get this phone.
Could
Yeah,
have called him a pirated version of a
pirate,
wrestler.
and everybody's like, and not just that, like everybody ripped, like they ripped on him,
Damn, they ripped in him hard.
like so he did try to make his own versions of the mask.
but that's
and-
worked for him, huh?
It didn't work for him.
Like even the combined of the two.
The combined, everybody's still making fun of him because he's like, bro, you can't even make an original name.
Bro, quit. At this point,
because
just
he was
quit.
Dragon Lee, right? He did okay as a wrestler, but he didn't like have anywhere. But because he fit the build, and they were like, okay, you'll be Mystico. He gives his younger brother his name and mask. With his younger brother, he makes a name for himself really good. This dude,
I would be so jealous.
and
I'd
I'm
be
like,
so mad.
yo, and then what happens is that the original Mystico comes back to Mexico, but he's what's his name, Caristico. So
There's
it's
too
kind of
many names.
so it is the same thing.
My brain-
But Mexico's like, yeah, we want the original. We need you to leave. So
Like, get
he
outta
got
here.
kicked out, and the three of them are brothers. Rush,
Like in real life?
Yeah, they're all brothers.
That's rough.
And so, well, Rush left because he had problems with attitude and management. So
Hmm.
the other two brothers were like, we're a team. We dip, and they dipped.
I see that.
But they just betrayed their brother. So on
Storyline
AEW,
wise.
storyline wise.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
just another thing, just a quick thing. In Mexico, I don't know if you remember in WCW and a little bit in WWE, La Parca.
Nah, I don't really mess with WCW.
No, but he was in WWE for like in the beginning of like I think Attitude,
No, I don't.
a little bit.
What was his name?
La Parca. Maybe if I show you a picture,
Nah,
maybe.
bro, I just remember S.A.
He had
Rios.
like a hood on. He was like a Grim Reaper sort of thing.
Remember S.A. Rios?
Nah.
What? He was with Lita? Before Lita joined the Hardy Boys?
Oh, the first failure.
Come on. He was pretty good though.
No, I just because every time I get Lita, I think of
He would
like
come on like on WWF Metal.
yeah. You don't
Like those
remember
old random Saturday shows.
this guy?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I've seen him
briefly.
wrestle Rush because so he has his own thing going on too with the whole mask thing, but I saw him in a no holds bar match, and that was one of the best matches I've ever seen live.
I've never seen a no holds barred match live.
And they got out the ring, they brought it to the crowd.
That's another thing I liked about the Attitude Era. When they
The,
were fighting the crowds and crap.
I've seen that too many times, bro.
Nah, man, but the way they did it in that, dude, listen, you have to watch
Yeah.
Austin versus Rock at the Rock Bottom pay-per-view. That's one. Because there
That's
was a Rock Bottom pay-per-view. It was the pay-per-view before WrestleMania 15.
Yeah.
You have to watch their Backlash match the same year, 1999. And then I think there was one match for King of the Ring that year. Oh, another awesome match, dude. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon, King of the Ring. when he's putting him through the glass in the Titantron.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap this show up.
Yep.
I really like talking about this old wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna do more of these.
We'll do more.
I feel like. But I think next week we're gonna talk about the making of Obi-Wan Kenobi and the making of Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought those were pretty interesting.
They were really good. We'll talk about that,
Yeah.
and we get to see more into the movie itself.
Yeah, especially Kenobi.
Yeah.
That one. I'll talk. I won't say anything. We'll talk about it next week. I'll give my thoughts. I liked it.
All right. See you then.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Talk to you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.